Have your textbooks open, please, to page number, should open this before, 67.
68.
Yeah, 166, 7, 8. Problem set 41. Ones that you want to go over. It seemed like there were some questions about number 5. Yes? Can I get some feedback, please? Okay, so, yeah, with number 5, you got to be careful. Because they tell us, what information did they give us in number 5?
They give you the area.
Right, the area of the circle is what?
25 pi squared.
No,
25 inches squared.
25 square inches. Okay, there's no pi in there. Notice, that's going to come back to haunt us later.
That means it's multiplied.
In annoying ways.
Multiplied by pi.
Now, to find the radius then, what formula do we have that connects the area of the circle, which they gave us, and the radius of the circle, which is what we're looking for? What formula is that? Connecting the area of the circle and the radius of the circle. Yeah, area equals pi r squared. The area of a circle is pi r squared. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, look at this equation. Pi r squared. We know what pi is. We don't know what r is, but we do know because they told us what a is. We can only solve equations that have one mystery thing, one variable. So here, we're going to be able to do this because even though we don't know the radius, they told us the area. So I'm just going to rewrite it. Instead of a, what am I going to write? No.
25.
25 is pi r squared. Now, where do I go from here?
25 equals pi 5 squared. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Sorry, when I said 5 over pi, that was not correct either. Why the heck did they give you this problem? Yeah. I don't know why they gave you this problem. This is not a... What problem says this even based on? That's dumb. Okay, well anyway, here's how you do it. Please pay attention. Don't talk to him right now about Instagram and the females thereupon. Please focus on algebra right now. Yes. All right. So what we have to do here is, in order to get the radius, thank you, by itself. Wait, what lesson says they used to do? You're supposed to skip 4, not 5.
Oh.
This is not the right lesson set.
Alright, did I do the wrong one?
Yes.
Alright, I'll do it during break.
Okay. So what are we going to have to do to find the radius here?
Divide by 5.
Divide by pi, yeah, on both sides. Okay, so then we get 25 over pi equals r squared. And so then how do we get radius by itself? How do we undo the squaring of r?
Divided by r.
No, well, yeah. Yeah, but we want to get r by itself.
Multiplied by
What's the opposite of squaring something? The inverse operation of squaring something, I should say.
Oh, making a fraction.
No. Fraction undoes multiplication.
Negative squared?
No. That's some type of multiplication.
Dividing.
No.
Inversing.
What's the inverse operation of squaring? This is something we've done in this class. Say it again? Taking the square root, right. So we do the square root on both sides, and we get the radius is equal to the square root of 25 over pi, or you could rewrite that as 5 over the square root of pi. I don't know why they gave you this problem.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Anyway, this is what you should have gotten for A, 5 over square root of pi. And then for B, what's the thing that they asked for in B?
Same thing, but
They asked for the circumference, so then we need 2 pi r. So we're going to end up with, right, it's 2 pi times 5 over square root of pi. So we end up with 10 pi over square root of pi. Right, because this is 2 pi over 1 times 5 over square root of pi. Radical pi, we could say. That pi was totally radical, man.
Why is that like this?
Ew.
I don't know. All right, anyway, that's number 5. I don't know why they gave you that one.
Mr. O,
Yes.
are you from the 63rd?
What?
Are you from the 63rd?
Yes, you are. 65, you're 163rd, dude.
This is the 63rd.
Something on Sesame Street. I was watching it.
No, it's not.
All right, Paige, your textbook should be open to 167. Any other ones for this problems that you want to go over? Going once, going twice. All right, I'll get back the test. Then there are a few I want to go over. Talk about some statistics related to this test.
I feel like Harry Styles out there.
He's
The
so
wind,
dead.
the wind was blowing against my hair when I was walking. I just felt, oof.
Oh, you're so. He had like a
You're-
banana, no bro.
Yeah, bro, did you see that?
He had a banana in his mouth. And it was like this, and then this.
He was
girl
he was responding to some person because like some famous person on Twitter made fun of him for wearing a dress. So he posted another picture of him eating a banana.
Yeah, exactly. And then the dude was like, and then this girl, she posted out.
Thank you guys for making good use of your time this weekend.
I'm not like, that's not random. She's like, what? So you're saying? I
Means you guys were wasting your time on stupid things. All right.
I don't
Wait, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
mine
you
for that.
turned yours in on. All right, so listen, this test, unfortunately, we seem to be beginning to have the pattern that I had with an algebra class in the past, which is that the first part of the year goes pretty well, and then the average. I'm getting there, and then the averages start to go kind of like this. So,
It has to be 80.
would you please stop interrupting me? Thank you. All right. So we need to correct course on that. Otherwise, they're going to keep going down because we're continuing to add new material and expand on the concepts that we've already learned. And if you haven't mastered the concepts that we've covered so far, those are going to continue to come back to haunt you. So please, if your grade has started to fall, we need to fix that now. Ask me questions in class. Ask me questions outside class. Come to my office hours on Tuesday. Come to my virtual office hours on Wednesdays. All of these are good options. Make sure when you're doing the homework that you're doing it well, that you're checking your work, and that you're asking questions if there are things that you're confused about. It's still fairly early in the year, but it's starting to get to the point where you got to have this earlier stuff down. There's still about 2/3 of the school year left. Midterms are starting to approach. Let's make sure we solidify this earlier rather than later. The average on this test was a C, so not terrible, and nobody failed it, so that was good. But the curve of the grades is starting to, like here's F, D, C, B, A. What you hope for is like this.
Ew, why would you want X at the head? Never mind.
So the idea is that most people are getting grades in the middle, and then a few people are getting really good grades, and a few people are getting really bad grades.
Yeah.
But what we've started to have, though, is instead of that, we're having a little bit more like this. We're shifting to the left a bit. So there are still some people doing well, but where this center group is shifting towards the left a bit.
Oh no.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm at the top.
right, we should have this. Really, I prefer something more like this. That's what we had early in the year.
Impossible.
And then we shifted kind of to this, the normal distribution, then we shifted to the left some more. So let's stop that. Otherwise, speaking from experience, it's going to continue to slip to the left, and that's not good. So,
No, it's not. We can do it. It's gotta put-
Let's take off the.
all right, so there are a couple of questions from this test that I had as ones that, oh, hello there. What are y'all going over? Got home at 8 yesterday. Virtual means the same Google Hangouts link from Coronation. Yes, it is. It's also in Jupyter Grades. There should be a button that you see that says Video Meet. You hit that, it'll take you to the Google Hangout for virtual office hours.
Who is that?
Mateo.
Matthew.
All right. A couple ones from the test. We're going over the test right now, which unfortunately I don't have, but you can see your grade there. There were, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 problems that I marked as particular spots of difficulty. First off, problem number 1, the property multiplication, saying the order in which we multiply numbers doesn't matter. Anyone who got that right, you could tell us the answer. The order that you multiply two numbers does not matter because multiplication
Yeah, no, that's
Is
has what property?
commutative.
Yes, did you hear that?
community.
I guess not. He just told you the answer to number 1.
What is it?
It's commutative. No, don't tell him. I just did.
Commutative?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Addition and multiplication both have the commutative property,
Commutative.
which means
What if you spell it wrong?
don't.
You get it right. It's not that hard.
C-O-M-M.
Spell it right and you get it wrong.
C-O-M-M-U. Wait, that's not quite right.
Who
C-O-M-U-tative.
came up with that words?
Like commute. Shh. Commute. Would you? What?
Bro. Commutative.
I'm literally giving you answers right now. Pay attention. Commutative, commutare in Latin, means to change things around. With multiplication and addition, they both have the commutative property, meaning we can change around the order and it's not going to affect the answer. Subtraction and division do not have this property. Yes.
Commutative.
Commutative, like commutative, like commuting, going back and forth.
Like communication.
Yes, it's related to. Is it related to communication?
I don't know. Yeah.
Possibly. I have to think about that one.
I thought it was commutative.
No, commutative.
Yes.
Yes. C-O-M-M-U-T-A-T-I-V-E.
Is there an M between the U and the T?
No.
I can't read this.
Well, all right. Number 7. Next up, functional notation. Still seeming to give some guys some issues.
What number is that?
Number 7. They say if f of x
Oh, I got it.
equals -4 minus 8x, find f of -2. Now, with functional notation, what do we have to do here? So they say f of x equals -4 minus 8x. So what do I do for f of -2?
Alright, so it's -4 minus.
F of x.
Oh.
That's f of x. That's doing operation f to x. -4 minus 8x. So if we do the same thing, this same thing f, the same function f, if we do that to -2, all that we're doing is everywhere that we wrote x before, we're going to write -2 now. And yes, thank you for indicating we need to use parentheses here, especially because this is negative. So then at this point, I would just do our order of operations: -4 minus -16, -4 plus 16.
Wait, what? Why would you do that?
Okay, so -4, yes,
Yeah.
minus,
Yeah.
what's 8 times -2?
-16.
-4 minus -16. Yes?
Oh, okay, then you change it to
Right, then these two cancel out. -4 plus 16 is what?
17.
Is what?
-8.
Well,
4.
well,
12.
Thank you. When we have a positive and a negative that we're adding together, we subtract. And then it takes the sign of whichever one has a larger absolute value. So we do 16 minus 4, we get 12. Because 16 is further away from 0 than -4 is, it's positive 12. Yes?
yeah.
Okay. Next up is number 8. Number 8, whoa. Lots of people number 8.
Uh-oh.
You guys just weren't careful with 8. 8a, they tell us to simplify -5 to the -2. What do I do first here?
You make, you're doing
Make a fraction.
Bring it to the bottom fraction.
Yeah.
So it's 1/-5/2.
So now it's gonna be 1 over the
Yeah, we got it.
1 over.
the second top.
-5
-5
squared.
to the second.
Okay, now what do I do? Yes, so I change my negative exponent to a positive exponent. by bringing it down to the bottom of a fraction. Now what do I do?
You multiply it out.
Do the exponent.
Okay, what am I going to get when I do the exponent on negative 5 squared?
1 over 25.
No.
25 over 1.
What do I do first? What do I do when I have negative 5 squared? What do I do first?
You multiply 5 times 5.
I multiply 5 times 5 first. Then I
Add the negative.
multiply by negative 1. Remember, what this means is negative 1 times 5 squared. That's what that means. The exponent comes before the multiplication. The negative sign is a type of the squaring first. First we square 5, we get 25, then we multiply it by negative 1. So you could have written 1 over negative 25, you could have written negative 1 over 25. Any of these is fine. Or you could have written negative 1 over 25. When you've got a fraction, it doesn't matter where you put the negative sign. I usually put it on top. I find that most convenient. But any one of those three is fine. You can put it on the denominator, on the numerator, or in front of the fraction.
Or on
I think it's best to put it on top, personally. It's just a more convenient place to put it. What about B then?
Well, I think I
So if you do A correctly, then B is really easy.
You put it on the top and then you do the same thing.
Yeah, because B, notice, it's just the reciprocal. You listening? Notice B is the reciprocal of A. What's a reciprocal?
Opposite.
No.
The flip. If you flip it.
Yes, the flip. What's the opposite of a number?
Probably negative or positive.
Right, we flip it between negative and positive. Reciprocal is we flip the top and the bottom. So notice A is negative 5 to the negative 2 over 1. And B, we just took that and we flipped it. Instead of being over 1 for it, we can just take your answer for A and flip it. So instead of 1 over negative 25, you get negative 25. You have to be careful with these. And this is what happened, is that most of you just squared negative 5, and so you got positive 25. But we only do that if we have it written how?
In parentheses.
Right, we would have negative 5 squared. That would give us positive 25, because that's negative 5 times negative 5. There, you listening?
Yeah.
Because the only thing that comes before exponents in our order of operations is
Exponent.
no, before exponents. The only thing that comes before is parentheses. So the parentheses tell us first we're going to do the negative, then we're going to square it. Capiche?
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, I've been doing everything so well. I thought exponents were first.
Well, let's fix it. Let's fix it now then. Better
It's PEMDAS.
PEMDAS, yes.
It's not.
All right. Next up,
Whoa.
two more to talk about. Two more to talk about. But first, so we're moving on to the last page here. First up, number 20. I don't know that anybody used the formula, and almost everybody lost points on number 20. Please use the formula. That's why I give it to you, because you will get the answer right instead of getting it wrong, like almost all of you did. That's the surface area one, number 20.
I didn't use that.
Great.
Bro, ask it.
Did you get it right?
No.
There you go. Did you use the formula?
I can't tell if I
I got
got it or
negative
not.
points off, so I don't know what that means.
Ask it. Stop, bro.
That means you didn't get it right.
Dang,
It means you made a mistake.
I got like 20. I got 460.
So for 20, please just use the formula. If you got it wrong, use the formula.
What is the formula? We don't know what the formula is. No,
Okay, I'm a little frustrated. You don't know what I'm going to give it to you again, but I'm a little frustrated because I've given this formula to you guys many, many times, and a lot of you have just been blowing it off. The formula for the surface area of a right solid, somebody tell me, is what?
2 times area of the base plus area perimeter of the base times height.
Yes.
Oh.
They already gave you the height. They said it was 10 feet. So then you need to find the area of the base and the perimeter of the base. And then you just plug it into this formula and you'll get the surface area. Otherwise, what you have to do is you have to calculate the area of each of those. What does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 8 different sides. Otherwise, you have to calculate the area of each of those 8 sides separately and then add them together.
I did that. And I got it.
and you got it wrong. So apparently you made a mistake somewhere. The reason why I don't like that is because it requires you adding up every side correctly, not doing any sides twice, not skipping any sides, adding correctly all those numbers together. This has many fewer steps in it. It's much less likely. There are fewer steps, there are fewer places for things to go wrong. Find the area of the base, find the perimeter of the base, they give you the height generally, and just plug it into that. Please use that formula so you can stop getting these wrong.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's all I want to say about 20. First, next up, 16. I'm not sure I really want to go over 16 either. But 16, a lot of guys got wrong. Why? You just kind of freaked out when you saw the mixed numbers and the fractions. Algebraically, it's not difficult. What should you have done first in number 16? Before you do that,
You do a thing.
don't change things into new formats unless it's actually going to make your life convenient at that point. Right now, add what?
Add 1 and 1/2.
Right, first we add 1.5 to each side to get 3.5x by itself. You'll have to change it to 1 4/8 so that you can combine it with 6 3/8 easily. And then, once we get that, then we divide each side by 3.5. For that, we're going to need to convert those mixed numbers into improper fractions. But generally speaking with fractions, don't convert mixed numbers into improper fractions, and especially do not change things to have common denominators unless you really need it. So we need common denominators in order to add 1.5 to each side, because 1.5 and 6 3/8, 1/2 and 1/8 are not common denominators, but those are easy to convert between. With 3.5, and then what you get on the other side, to divide, we don't need common denominators in order to divide. So don't bother converting things. Why? It's an extra step where things can go wrong. Fewer steps, fewer places to make mistakes. You guys know this?
Yeah.
I don't mean the band.
What?
Kiss.
KISS. What does it stand for?
It means like when you puff your lips.
No,
Oh.
the acronym.
Oh.
Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS.
Bro.
Okay? Don't do things unless you need to, unless they're actually going to make your life easier. All right? So like this, keep it simple. Don't find the area of each side separately and then add them all up. You can do that. If you do it correctly, you'll get the same answer. But there are more steps, and it's easier to forget something. Keep it simple, stupid. Not that any of you guys are stupid, but that's the expression.
Kiss something who's special.
All right, number 17 is the last one where there were a lot of issues. Let's do number 17 together. Walk me through 17 one step at a time. And let's see if we can get the correct answer here for number 17. Number 17 is one of these very annoying Saxony problems where they're like, oh, let's see how much we can test them on the order of operations and lots of negatives and parentheses and all this stuff. Yes, it's annoying, but take it one step at a time. Don't try to do multiple things at once. We're keeping it simple. All right, they give us -3 squared minus parenthesis -2 parenthesis cubed minus 2 squared minus pipe negative parenthesis -3 parenthesis cubed minus 2 to the 4th pipe. Now, at this point, what should I do before I do anything else?
You do that.
What should I do once I've written this down in my workspace?
The exponents.
No,
No, it's
before I do anything else.
parentheses.
Before I do that.
You check if there's any zeros.
Before even I do that.
I don't even know, man.
I should make sure I wrote down the right thing. Did I write down the right thing? Let's see. -3 squared minus and -2 minus pipe minus Okay, yes, I did write it down correctly. But listen, with this type of problem especially, that's a really easy place to make a mistake, which is then, of course, going to change your answer. So when you've got something long like this, or like number 12 or 13, where there's just lots of different things going on, make sure you wrote it down correctly, because that's a sort of dumb way to lose credit, is by just copying down the problem wrong. Now, usually in that case, I'll check to see whether from that point you did it correctly. And so usually you only lose partial credit if you did the rest of it correctly, but it's still not the right problem because you didn't calculate it down right. Okay, at this point, what should I do first?
Alright, check this out. So you do the parentheses.
Okay,
Yeah, that's it.
I want you guys to walk me through this one step at a time.
Alright, well, since
I'm
you
just
can't
gonna
do
write
no
on the board.
Since you can't do no parentheses, then you gotta do the exponents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was it, at the parentheses and -3, and then -2, squared. Well, -3 in parentheses squared. Or, yeah, squared, right?
What's the first thing that I should be doing here?
Hey, you mean the
Alright, so
First step of order of operations is what?
Parentheses.
Okay, is there anything inside parentheses that I can do?
Yes.
What?
You can make the negative inside the thing right there. To make that positive.
You're gonna have to be more specific than the thing.
In the
And saying the
bars.
joint doesn't count.
In the
It's more
bar.
specific.
In the pole.
Ah, the pipes. Oh, remember, the pipes are a type of what?
Parentheses.
Ah, they're a type of parentheses. So let's start with just doing the stuff inside the pipes first.
Yeah.
Because our first step is in order of operations is parentheses. So what are we gonna do inside the pipes first?
You make that positive right there.
Make what positive right where?
The 3. You make the 3 positive right
Yeah?
I swear I got number 6 right, cause like I did it like again.
Okay, and let's finish going over this one and then we can talk about 6.
there. You make 3 positive because the 2 negative signs cancel out.
What type of operation is that? Canceling out the negative there.
Multiplication.
Actually, what did you do on
Once we're inside the parentheses, we apply our order of operations inside the parentheses again.
63 over 3?
Alright, so then you do the parentheses inside there, but you can't do that.
Okay, what comes after parentheses? Are you guys following along, everybody? Yes? Okay, so there's no parentheses we can do inside these parentheses. So what do we go to next?
Exponent.
Ah, so what do we have to do first inside these pipes?
You do 4 and the negative 2, you make that, what's it called?
Huh?
I think it's-
I think, 6 negative 16.
Yeah,
Right,
what he said.
negative.
Okay, what is being raised to the 4th power here?
negative 2.
No,
No, just 2.
just 2. So what's 2 to the 4th?
And then you add the negative sign.
Yeah, it's 16. Okay, yeah, and that minus is still there. What am I going to get here? What am I cubing?
Negative 27.
What am I cubing?
Negative 3.
3 and
So negative 3 cubed is
Negative 27.
negative 27, but what else is there?
Then you do the subtracting sign, so it's positive 27.
Right, so we've got negative 27 or positive 27. Yes, is this looking correct so far?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait, which number is it?
Number 17. Okay.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, then what else can I do inside these parentheses?
Subtraction.
And what am I going to get?
Hold on. 11.
11. Now, the pipes tell me to do what to that 11?
Positive.
Okay, it's already positive.
So
Great.
yeah, then you're done.
Okay, so now we get that part. We still have this part to deal with.
Alright, check this out. So that's gonna be negative 9 right there. And then
Why is this negative 9?
Because you're only doing the 3 and then you add the negative sign. And then now
Right, because the 3 gets squared and then we make it negative. So it's negative 9.
and then the 2 is gonna be the first 2 is gonna be 8.
Why?
Negative 8
Why?
because of
What?
the negative sign right there.
What are we cubing?
So you're keeping negative 2,
Okay, what's negative 2 cubed?
negative 8.
Mr.
Negative 8.
I have a question.
So minus negative 8.
Yeah,
For
so that's
negative,
gonna turn to a positive.
for negative 3 squared, I got positive 9 because if it's like negative 3 squared, it would be negative 3 times negative 3, so I thought it would be a positive.
Be careful. These are the two things you have to keep straight. This one, if there's no parentheses, we do the exponent first. What this means is negative 1 times 3 squared. This one, on the other hand, means we're taking negative 3 and squaring that.
Okay.
You have to be really careful with your exponents and negative signs. So with this one here, we just square the 3 first, the exponents. Then the negative sign is actually a type of multiplication. So it comes after, so we get negative 9. Now this one, there are parentheses, so we cube the negative 2, we get negative 8, so it's minus negative 8. And then what happens here with this set of exponents?
Alright, so then it's gonna be like 4, so it's gonna be negative 4.
Right, minus 4
Alright,
Right, these are all connected with subtraction.
So it's gonna be -9 plus 8 minus 4 minus 11.
Yeah, now when we have a whole mix of negative and positive numbers, what's the easiest way to deal with that? Yep.
Like, at first, cancel out the positive. Like,
We could do that. Yeah, we could do sets of 2.
Or you can add like terms, -16.
Okay, somebody just pick a way to do this. Tell me what I'm gonna.
Add like
so
terms.
it's gonna be negative.
Okay, they're all like terms.
Alright, so
Negative
then
9 plus
negative 20.
Negative 9 plus 8 is what?
-1,
Okay, what's negative 4 minus 11?
-15,
Okay.
-16.
-16.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. The other thing that you can do when you have a mix of negative and positive numbers to combine together, because remember this is -9 plus 8 plus -4 plus -11, is we can combine all the positives together and all the negatives together. So we'll get -9 plus -4 is -13, -24 plus 8, and then -16. Either way, that's what you should have gotten. And this is why it's with the negative. Woof. Man, that took a lot of time. All right, that's okay. That's a good way to use time. All right, so listen. Let's see. What am I going to do here?
Anything for the rest of the class.
Yes.
So I've done that question before,
Yep.
and I got the first time I did it right. Just like read it as the first time for like the correction.
Make some note so that I know which one is the correction.
You go
Okay.
for 6.
Number 6. Yeah. Okay, 6. Let's talk about 6. So yeah, we're not going to get to a new lesson today, which is okay.
Yeah.
So there won't be
What?
not going to get to a new lesson today.
Yeah.
So there won't be any homework tonight.
Yeah.
All right, but test corrections. Let's say for Wednesday.
No.
They're not. They're all on school. These are different.
No, it's not good.
Test
Tomorrow.
corrections. Wednesday. All right, number 6. Yeah, 4 1/3 of what number is 21? 2 bits to this. One is we got to set it up correctly. The second is that we need to deal with our fractions correctly. How do we set this up? 4 in words. Now let's write it using mathematical symbols. Somebody tell me what to write.
4 1/3 times n equals 21.
Now, why did you write that?
Because that's
Okay, but translate it for us step by step. So obviously, 4 1/3 is 4 1/3. Then where did you get this times from?
oh, when it said of.
Of, yes. When we talk about of, it means multiply. And then where does this n? What's n?
And
The number. So what part is that representing?
times 4 1/3.
Yeah, of what number? When we have a mystery like that, a mystery quantity, we always represent it using a what?
Excellent.
Not like, so what do we call this?
Yeah, I had a variable.
A variable, right. We use a letter, a variable, to represent it. It doesn't matter if it says what number, what decimal, what fraction, what quantity. If it's any kind of mystery thing, we'll just use a variable. And then what about the equals 21? Where'd you get that from? Okay, the 21 obviously, but what about the equal sign?
Is
Is, yes. 4 1/3 of what number is 21? It's almost word for word. Is obviously is multiplication, of is the tricky one. So how am I going to find out what this number is?
you do
How do I get the number by itself? What thing do I do?
You write 4
subtract, yeah,
1/3.
No, don't subtract.
what?
What is connecting the 4 and 1/3 in the end?
Yeah,
What's connecting them?
multiplication.
So how do I undo this connection?
4 1/3 n equals 21.
Okay, so how do I get it by itself? I
So you take away the 4 1/3.
Divide by.
divide by 4 1/3.
I just said that.
Okay, so n equals 21 divided by do, because I should be able to do that arithmetic. 21 divided by 4 1/3.
Basically, just see, here's what you do. Take the 21, right?
Yeah,
And you put a 1 under it.
put a 1 under it. Right, I changed it into a fraction. Then what do I
And
do?
then you do times.
Well, let's take one step at a time.
Alright, and then, okay, so it's gonna be, it's 13 over 3.
Keep, change, flip.
Right, before we do keep, change, flip,
13 over 3.
we need to convert this 4 1/3 into, right, we're changing the mixed number into what?
Improper fraction.
Into an improper fraction. Because the keep change flip is not a rule for dividing mixed numbers. It's a rule for dividing fractions.
Yeah.
So first we need to make it into a fraction, then we can do keep change flip. So what's it going to be? 21 over 1 times 3 over 13. Can I simplify?
Yeah.
What can I simplify?
3 and 21.
One thing on the bottom.
Also, you can't simplify.
We can't. 13, 1, okay, 1 isn't going to help us. 13 is a prime number, so unless it can go into one of these numbers up top,
It can't.
and it can't, it's not going to help us. So
Yes.
we can't simplify, all we can do is multiply. So what do we get?
3 over 13.
So we just multiply 21 times 3, get 63. 1 times 13 gives us 13.
That's right.
Yeah, it's an awkward looking answer, but that's the correct answer.
I got 70. I got 50 over 3. Why? Why do you have to do these
That's
things?
why you get your ink out.
All right, we have time for one more if anybody has one. Really, one
Number
really
75.
quick question.
No, actually, number 5. I don't know how I got that wrong.
Yeah, I don't know either. Okay, let's do this. 240 is the prime
So
number.
instead of 4 times 5 times 2.
No, bro, because 2 cubed, right, times 3 times 10, that still equals 240.
Okay.
But you gotta break it all the way.
140 equals 24 times 10.
Yeah.
And then you can break down 10 to 5 times 2.
Exactly.
And then 24 breaks down to 12 times 2.
You gotta break that more,
Yeah.
buddy.
And then 12 breaks down to 6 times 2.
Exactly.
And then 6 breaks down to 3 times 2.
Alright.
And that's it.
Exactly.
We're factoring.
You have to go, notice this is a product of prime numbers. So if you had 10 in your answer, 10 is not prime.
We can only do prime number, okay.
Yes, it says as a product of prime numbers. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 2s, the 2 to the 4th, times 3, times 5.
Isaiah is
Wait, can you do like 4 real quick?
4.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 4 is tricky because
I got it.
setting it up, actually we don't have time, there's only about 30 seconds left. If you want to do 4, come find me during lunch or after school, if you want to do 4. Or come to office hours tomorrow afternoon. We're out of time. But 24 is tricky to set up, just because it's just confusing.
It's just a number. So.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. I'm sorry?
You know, if teachers in the school wanted to, you know how teachers said they wanted